Hi guys, hi Flack. Appreciate y'all showing up for another beautiful Feedback Friday. Okies first this time, I'm sorry to inform you. But hey. How we feeling? I'm seeing the regulars. Just chilling. Finally did it. The best night of your life. I'd be proud. You can put this on a resume. They won't tell you that. Because which matters more, like the chess club you were in or Feedback Friday? Fuck at. Sounds good. Five times 0 is still 0. Excellent work, Chef Hokey. The seasonings is balanced perfectly. They're always improving, always clean. Like right away, I noticed I'm liking how it feels like from the intro, which I don't always get in the Hokey tracks. Usually, I'm waiting until the main course, but in this case, the appetizer is stimulating me. It's appetizing, some might say. See, that feels nice. But you're focusing on is the transition between drops to out of nowhere. No. If anything, I think like you could play it up more You know, maybe that means adding more space. Maybe it means having more of an effect, more of a variation. I just feel like there's place to like throw a wild card, like throw a curveball, you know? Like you told them what to expect, and now the privilege is yours to subvert that. But you can't subvert unless you tell them what to expect, you know? So don't get that. There's some dudes in here. But maybe that comes in through bigger variation on sound design. Maybe it comes through for a longer kind of drop. Just something to give that twist of a feeling, you know? The flow for the first drop. Here's something I imagine. Like, maybe this isn't quite flow related, but I hear right. You're kind of got two sections. So you got wham 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 boom 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 bram 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 boom boom. You see what I'm doing with my mouth very strangely? Yeah. So it sounds like there's like call and response. Wham bram bram bram. Call, and then boom 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 response. And I feel the first half being a little louder, the second half being a little sneaky, a little ding 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 ding. Am I wrong? All right, I will not listen to you if you think I'm wrong. No, and you're so thoughtful. This is plenty specific questions. Always simulate filters with my mouth before trying to create movement with them. Lol. He's right. Something that stood out to me though. I want this intro to be a little spiced up with the pace. You know, little impacts for fun. Yes, deeper versus quieter. I agree. Like the call can have louder kind of top harmonics. So ramp, 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 boom, 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 boom. You know, for lack of a better word. You know, like you have like kind of effects moments like that. I feel like I want the color, like the instrumentation, to change, get a little more tense. Maybe start pitching up. You know. Just a little more spicing up at these halfway points, and definitely feel that like for the intro ends up feeling like longish, and I guess a little bit of that mindset in the drop as I previously mentioned, but you know where I stand. Anything else I can think of? I feel like the snare is like hit me with like the newspaper wad, but I want like a rock in that wad. You know what I mean? Maybe there's some gravel in it, but I want like a stone, just a big fucking stone. So just like very transient, very fundamental layer. But I'm a picky snare guy, so take that with a grain of salt, which is a rock. Salt is a rock. Very creative arrangement here. Very experimental. Let's sit through the silence. No. Bricks, yeah. RL snare basic one. Oh. On a serious note, easy bah. You fucked up your export. You like soloed one group. Is what happened. Because you're saying, bro, how are my transitions? There is no transition. And that's not even an exaggeration. Where does it go? I mean, I still kind of fuck with it. But if you're here, fix your link, because I can't tell you much. Re-up it. What do I name this? Help me. Ow. He's right, the group do go hard.
Hypnotize the stars.
Before I get evil, John Luce, ask questions. Give me a specific question to address on this track for feedback. This should hit though. So true.
Hypnotize the stars.
Pretty hard. You want to know, like, what to name it? Treble with effects for vocals. Not a huge fan of the first drop. I like this. But first, let me get my hating out of the way. Fuck you. No. That's not what it is. This vocal isn't in key. Or maybe it's like major. But that doesn't sound great either. I don't think. So maybe if we put it down 1, 2, 1, 2. Then it would sound, I don't know. Yeah, I would like transpose the vocal down to that versus Yeah, 2 semitones.
I can't help myself.
At least that's the closest estimation I will give. Just because it's like, it's gravitating towards this note, but you're hitting this note in the root. So there's going to be tension.
Open
And yeah, I would like layer more atmospheres, more
the sky.
effects, more impacts.
Hypnotize the stars.
And then it does end up kind of going like transposed or something. It's going, which would work great if we were still holding the same note we were earlier. That'd be great, right? But now we changed the note right when the vocal did. How convenient. See what I mean? So, like here, different key. Here, different key. When the vocal would have been in key if you didn't mess with it. Hypnotize the stars. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You see, hypnotize the stars. Dan, dan, dan. No. No. Music theory saved lives. And it feels like you like skipped a beat there. Am I tripping? I'm just getting into everything specific and obnoxious, apparently. Theory wise. Long story short, transpose your bass down. Transpose your vocal down here and your bass down here. And I don't know, like for the first drop, it's a question, how do you want to make it more interesting? Like you can do something more of a call. You can go wow, wow, bum, bum, bum. Wow, bum, 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 bum. You know what I mean? That kind of call at the beginning of the phrase. Maybe you can like have like more like a rhythm type thing, so you can go boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You can combine both of them. So, I mean to say like this bass, but that, like modulating between each kind of hit to give it that throw. Bam, bam. Like switching between two different sounds. Right? Another thing is, I imagine like with this kind of repetitive flow, you can make it dynamic, so you can go bam, boom, 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 bam, 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 bam. All right, enough vocal sounds. You see what I mean, though? Like filtering open, boom, 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 bop, bop. I think all those combined would make it very interesting.
Always find it hard to
Right, and then same thing applies here. I don't know, like it's kind of sparse. Honestly, and the vocal processing wise, it sounds like a kind of vocal that wouldn't need to be as heavily processed. You know, I'd fill in the intro more to give it some kind of bones beyond just like the atmospheric, and in the atmospheric, I think that could be denser. Is the Inferno cape like a sought after item? Is this like the gold chain of the RuneScape community? And title of the track, Stars. She says stars. You can call it stars. Or like hypnotize. That's the peak of my creative titling right now. Excellent.
Clicking sounds. Sounds that reveal the presence of radioactive rays. The instrument, a Geiger counter, is converting radioactivity into sounds we can hear. This radioactivity is coming from a small piece of radioactive material inside this plastic cylinder. The small amount of radioactivity coming from the cylinder is harmless. Today, atomic scientists produce radioactivity in large amounts. Atomic radiation.
Damn. It's swinging around. This is a Yay.
The atomic bomb. You'll know when it comes.
That was fire. The sounds and like the phrases, the flows. I love that. I think this was my favorite. It's mad swampy. It's mad like rubbery. Like it's got a little bend to it, you know? Got a little curve to it. Alright, to the intro and break, need more musical elements.
That reveal the present in here. Today, atomic science.
I always vote for more rather than less musical elements. I mean, there can be such thing as too much, but if it's musical, it's never too much, right? I don't.
Is produce radioactivity.
No, it gets the job done.
In large amounts.
I think even if you're going to keep it sparse, I think we can get a bit more interesting, more tense, like kind of transition sound than the dry white noise. Also this, it almost comes in, it feels like it's still a build somewhat and like still holding back, it's still filtering open. So give it a bigger riser, give it a pre-drop, and maybe it'll feel a bit more final. And make that kick forward, so boom. Knock the wind out your chest. And then the dynamic, it gets so bright there, but then this is kind of subdued, so it's not meshing. And yeah, like stereo bit more just like they sound very FMy, but they sound like a little too dry on the FMy side of things. I feel like when you get FMy, you gotta be generous with the effects because it sounds kind of dry. See, this sounds very wet and has kind of cool harmonic movement. That's a cool flow. Bam, bam, ga, bam, bam, ga, bam, dun, dun, dun. The other thing is that like its flow is extended. Bam, down, bam, down, bam, down, 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 bam, down. It's such a clear like question and answer. Bam, down, bam, down, bam, down, down, down. Am I right? It's the phrasing. But with how hitting this is, it makes this one strike me even less. So it almost felt like this was like still building up to this. So could trim that down or like make it really hit. I feel like they're a little different. They're a little different. You know, speaking of like flowing between sections, wet it up, right? It's not abrupt, it's just not, they're not playing off each other, you know? Like, I think this does the job of a break, but it's not clean, it's not tight. Like, it's just something lacks the pro edge. I think it just sounds kind of like sampley, like atmosphere sampley. You want it to sound natural, like it's always been there. Like, I don't know. Yeah. The other thing is like these sections have more layers. You have while there it's completely dry.
The atomic bomb.
And the phrase is more rhythmically interesting. The sounds are wetter. The flows are playing, switching between sounds more, you know? So like, of course this is gonna slap harder than like the first, you know? But you can tell a clear point, like the flow kind of changed here. A little forward. It was going bwamp, bwamp, but then it goes bwamp, bwamp. I think like with the variation, you want to save the best for last, you know? Because if you have everything up front and it's so fire, and then the variation is kind of like, all right, you know, like you're losing that element. Like, I got more to show you, you know, you just told them like, all right, mess is done with. No. But like in this case, you're going wham, wham, and then, right? Wham.
The atomic bomb.
You're going wham, wham, and then you go wham, I just feel like when you change that downbeat to like a longer bar, that comes across a little less like energy than the first flow. So I don't think it's perfect as a variation.
The atomic bomb.
Yeah, I'll come back with sounds. I know that much. They will likely involve Vital because it's free. Yeah, just something about these like second half variations. All that. Louder kick. All right. I've been pretty thorough in my... Yeah, just keep playing. Never... Hard as frick, honestly. It's like very simple. It's just like off, like downbeating the huge ass sub, but it keeps such tension that I love it. I'm a freak for it. You know what I'm saying? More mix, more risers. So mix down, I don't know, nothing stands out as like wrong with it. I kind of like how disrespectfully clipped the kick is, but I don't know, maybe that can be messed with. It still sound mean, but not like maybe a little more sub. I think these like mid basses and the noise on them is coming through loud, kind of spiky. You're saying high in the perks, a little spicy. Tiny bit. That didn't strike me though, so. Yeah, I don't know if it needs risers. Like, I would mess with it. But I think creating tension with like little like effects, but can do it, you know, like just the tension the arrangement provides on its own, and like little moments of just like silence or pauses, you know, can make it. But I think like because of how tense it rides like through all of this, you want to make the payoff fucking huge and like shocking, you know, like click to find out more levels of shocking. like that tension, it comes from you're always keeping these rhythmic elements taut, you know, even when the kick isn't laid down and the sub isn't laid down. That just makes it like you're still like nodding for this, even though there's no drums. Ready? Yeah. That's hard. Maybe like slightly complex with the flows, you know. You go like bup 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 bup, you know, like something a little straighter to like hone in the simplicity like we've been feeling. I don't know. Low-key like just like reverb spacing elements. Yeah, like reverb spacing elements, like that kind of bell stretch, like a kick that sits a little tighter in the mix. Kind of hats tamed, peaks caught, you know, makes that wise. You get 3 minutes. This sounds cool though, already. I like this. It is very refined for the blonde. Very, very classy, very gentlemanlike. Not as brash as we are used to. But is it two ideas or one cohesive thing? Sounds cohesive to me. I mean, there's definitely two ideas at play here, but like you keep the textures of the track uniform, so they mesh together. Yeah. That transition's clean. Fucked up. If anything, like, even though the track's already kind of long, I think what would do it is like not rushing this transition, or like just having some kind of middle that isn't in a hurry to like move on to the next thing, you know? Because that gives it the impression it's just like one drop, next drop, you know, and you're like, they're different, you know? Let the musical ideas kind of unfold, let them marinate a little longer, I think. Which is surprising, because I hate tracks with length. They intimidate me. Sounds quite mid-heavy though. Maybe the sub's high. More kick, more sidechain. So, move that vocal up a half step. Up. Well, you know. And something about it just feels like loose and like almost like lazy feeling, like not the way it's produced, but like the way the sound's coming across. So you have less like bwam 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 bwam. Like, give it a little tighter envelope, I feel. I don't know. You know, it's a bwam 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 versus fum 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 bum bum fum fum versus wow 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 wow. You know what I mean? Like the way it's kind of pulsing rhythmically, it feels like slurred or something, you know? So like maybe like if that can come across in more of the arrangement, or it can be tighter on one front, you know what I mean? Yeah, be careful with the layers. Give us some like different textures. Like I think like some noisier, like more distorted timbres. It's just very like MIDI. You made this up. Chuck Ray has made this up. And also something that feels a little weird is like the sub. It's kind of not completely tight with like the mid bass, so it's doing its own thing, but it's not like super musical in the own thing it's doing, you know? It's kind of slowed. It's not like boom, 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 or whatever. Like, yeah, and kind of like change the harmonic on this main bass too, I would say. And I wouldn't be afraid to like push these melodics more, maybe have like kind of patty chord layer when you're kind of having this type of emotional arrangement. Especially because like the bass is taking the front, but it's playing it pretty safe, like sound design harmonically, so I think it wants to serve as a part of the whole rather than get ahead. Like make these ideas like evolve. Like they want to grow, they want to change. You just gotta let them, bro. Like, you just gotta let them. I think he is. Oh damn. That sounds fucking crazy. Easy buff. Fix your track. You're like you soloed stuff. You gotta re-export it. And I'll listen. Let's go. And what is it? Shit is actually fire. Damn. No, I'm actually impressed as fuck by that track. Like, as a whole, and this, like, absolutely a standout vibe for Shamer. Like, just the fucking... No, like, Shamer has guap, and he's fully flourishing into his guap. Because, like, it's very, like, major, happy sounding. But, like, experimentally textured as well, which is already, like, two things you can run with. But also, he has this, like, crazy, like, jittery, like, bouncy BPM going through it. So, there's three things. Yeah. Shamer's only 12 years old, and he's making tracks like this. He's really a prodigy. No, he's not 12. I don't know why he said that. It's funny, though. No, I'm about to, like, steal. I'm about to steal from this track. Because what else sounds like this? Like that. It's just a nice kind of timbre. Like a nice, like, textured key. Like almost like a whirly sound. I don't know. Like a Wurlitzer. It's very chopped, but, like, and like the attacks are cutting off. It's modulating, but it's still like playing the nice little melody, nice little progression. Little glitches. This is Scrimple Core adjacent, low key. Slow progression. Needs an intro. I mean, that struck me as an intro. I mean, just something like slightly atmospheric to kind of like mix it in, I guess. Drops are too busy. No. In fact, like, I think like this is almost like the perfect amount of layers. Like, it's more than we're used to in like dubsteppy stuff, but for more instrumental, like, I think it's nicely balanced. All the texture is crazy. No, I'm super impressed by this, honestly. Really nice. Yeah, I think bass could come up. I think you can watch how loud, how transient, like, not how transient, just how loud some of these like perks are. And like there's this like effect, like this kind of sparse like texture here is cool, but when the drop hits, it feels like the mix gets all like MIDI sounding. You know? Like get a full balanced sound. Yeah, and the fact some stuff is stretched really hard stereo, I don't know if I love that. Or maybe if more was stretched stereo so it wasn't so incongruent, or like some type of like little mono punch for this snare. You feel me? Wow, I love it. I'd experiment with like a little bit of layers in these sections. Like, and your stuff seems to like gravitate on the dry side. Like, experiment with the alternative, you know? But then probably go back to that, yeah. Because that's how it works a lot of time. Damn. It's lovely. I had something else to say, but it just left my body, left my vessel for the aether. Once it came. Forest Lullaby. So it's lovely. No, so I've been liking your tracks, W Low, lately, okay? But I'm gonna kill you tonight. No. Like my first thing, like, in this one, like, it's a little more crowded than your others, I think. And not just that, I think, like, it's cool to have some density, but I think a lot of the density, a lot of the details are sticking out ahead. You know, like, we have the foreground and the background, and, like, the background's, like, jumping out, and, like, some things are oversaturated, and, you know. Like, all these elements coming in and out, there's a lot of them, and each one that comes in is kind of really in your face about it, you know? I'd maybe like the kind of patty bass to hold that stability, to hold it down. Bro, I don't... Look. I'm upset, because why is it showing up like this? Face red heart shape. I can't even click it. I can't even fucking do it. You see? That's all. No. So, just watch how things are sticking out in the mix, and just watch the pace. Like, I think there's a lot of cool ideas in here, but you sift through them at like a mile a minute, like, or whatever. You know, like, take your time. And I think, I mean, the general production rule of thumb is, like, repeat something twice, then change it, you know, like, every 16 bars, every 32 bars, every 8 bars, you know? Stick to that kind of stuff and just reference how much you want to be changing things. You know, so if you change some of these, like, places you add these layers to kind of ride it out a little more, you'll have a longer, less rushed track that, like, I think it's just a better track. You know, like, you get more length, and I think the pace at which things are going to change is going to be more musical, you know? But that was all my stuff. Does the song make the listener feel immersed? I would say yes. But, like, another thing with immersion, I found, like, keep it atmospheric, you know? And when stuff is changing too much, stuff is too loud, like, immersion is impeded upon. You know, because instead of just settling or focusing on really settling into the vibe, their attention might be getting, like, pinged, you know? I don't know. It's the difference between, like, super glitchy, dry, like, IDM, and, like, atmospheric pads to meditate to. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the extreme of both ends, but you know what I mean? My head is, like, writing off Colin Wyatt and Chuck Ray as the same dude because their pictures are identical. It's tragic. But it's okay. I now have learned the error of my ways. And I've grown as a person because of it. Keep fucking cooking. Also, easy, but where's your stuff? Where's your fixed link? Because, boy, I'm on the brink. I know your tracks stink, but I still want to hear it. You DM'd it. Always in my DMs. You think you're... Can I show you this? I think this is allowed. Trigger warning, anime feet. Okay. What is wrong with this dude? He just like spammed his link like in the wrong channels, and then he called me. Okay, so look. He's like, he spammed his link in the wrong channel, so he hit me in the DM. I set one to whips. Okay, you see this at the bottom of the screen, right? I sent one to whips. He calls me out of nowhere. I don't get it, and I'm not picking it up, right? And then he sends this. I'm not sure what to make of this. Right, I reacted fire emoji. Right, and this comes to my attention because he tried to call me tonight as well. So maybe he has something important to tell me. But I don't know. Like, I just don't think the motives are clear. And make sure you're using the right channels, like, for that kind of thing. I was just a little confused by that. Not sure what to think. But anyway, let's... Curveball. That's a cool track. I like that bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I like this dude breathing. Is this the same guy who sent the feet breathing? It could be. So, you don't like your transitions? I think you can take a little more time on them. Like, workflow wise and arrangement wise. So, for transitions, like, it doesn't always have to be just straight effects. Using filters, high pass, low pass can be really nice. Having reverb automate can be really nice, you know, reverb kind of delay stuff you hear. Those are the only things that are nice. No, all types of effects can be used for that build-up effect. Right. The other thing is I would spend longer like digging through samples, like working with sound design for the risers. You know, like you want them to sound the least risery possible. No, that's not true, but like, you know, we don't want it to just come in like white noise. All right, move on with your life, you know, like we want it to pull you in. I know you didn't send a feed. I wasn't accusing you. Two out of 10. Yeah, so like you can double this drop and have a variation on it, and then have a bit more of an impact when this break kind of section comes in. That'll help with it. Yeah, noted. This is important. Important business observation. Yeah, that. Yeah, and like by the time you repeat this kind of loop again, that's where the buildup should come in. You know, pay attention to the timing of where we start building, because that makes it feel a lot more natural. Versus this, it kind of cuts off a little early. Yeah, and the rhythm of that is weird, like boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom. You go bam, 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 boom. Like it's time is weird. Yeah, if you're gonna have a kind of like fill like that, right? I'm saying like I would cut out everything else. No, like just mess with buildups. Pay attention to the structure. Mess with effects. Pick nicer build sounds. You know, punch it in at the right time. Bro loves the elephant. And also, like, I wouldn't be completely afraid, like, if you're making, like, quote, like, the same build-up every time. You know, like, I think it's okay to make more or less the same thing a bunch of times, because then you get better at that thing. You know, like, I just speak, like, with my own stuff. There was a point where I was always in a rush to, like, do a new, completely brand new inventive thing, you know? But I feel like that just, like, impeded my skill, like, with the staples, you know? Like, I said, like, I could do, like, X drop, X build up, like, once, like, I don't need to do it again. You know, I don't think that's true. And it's not very productive a lot of the time. You know, like, what is it, like the Bruce Lee ? Saying? He's like, I fear not the man who's practiced 1,000 kicks once, but one kick 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? Basically. Damn. I like those. I like that. I like the kind of like dark, like kind of like MIDI patty sound. That's something I fuck with. But you're saying trying to improve the high end of the bass. Give up. No, I get what you mean, because I too crave like a full high end sound in the bass. Currently it sounds like too hissy. So something I like, I prefer over something I mess with. Fuck, I don't know. So with basses that are very like mid heavy, your options are, you have a few options for how you approach the high end. So if you just saturate it more, you'll get like distorted high end. And sometimes for an aggressive sound, you might like that. I don't know if that's what you want here. Right. Another thing is you just kind of lean into like the screechy OTT artifacts, right? That kind of thing. Redux can also give you that effect, which I like. The other thing is white noise, which we're using here a little too liberally. You can also combine all these. I would say when using white noise, the hiss is kind of cool, but I think I honestly prefer like the kind of rift noise effect, or just kind of like distorting noise into the sound, like the kind of like you hear on like the Cohen sound kind of basses, rather than like the noise like being just a flat layer. You know, it just sounds a little tighter. Another way to do this is like on the Redux effect, turning up the jitter, kind of gives you that effect. Maybe playing with the bit rate and the dry wet on those. So that's like high end stuff. Other thing is like if it's still like too flat or not, it like sometimes just like notches kind of moving through can help you get that brightness in places. And sometimes like we just want like bro step loud bass, but it's not always gonna get that. So like just keep it MIDI, mid-rangey. And sometimes like the rest of the arrangement can come through layers. Like I know there's times where I just get so focused on like making one bass super bright, but then listening to the full arrangement, I'm like, it's not tight in there, because sometimes you don't want a super bright bass because then it's not gonna mesh with the rest of your arrangement, even though it might sound full and nice on its own, you know. Like some things can be a little duller, some things can be a little brighter, and that makes a more cohesive whole. Cool whoosh recordings, layering on basses. This is doing that over basses. Yeah, kind of layers can get you places. That's interesting. Jotting that down. Another thing is don't underestimate like different kind of noise sources, you know? I mean, that's kind of drawn from the whoosh thing, but like hissy white noise can be different from just like a nature waterfall white noise, but it can still kind of do something. What about? Okay. Face red heart shape, face red heart shape, face red heart shape. I honestly think like I don't hate the way it sounds now. I think it's a little top heavy, if anything. Just like sub, mid, more kind of congruent. Wow, wow. Bust that kick up sexually. Yeah, an arrangement kind of just like riffy, just like flowing nonstop, like a bit more like intro break journey. could be chill and vibey, I think. Nice. Nice. Cool track here. No, like the outlet is coming up, I think. I'm liking the direction it's taking. Like the microtone stuff is really getting honed in and being beautiful, and like the arrangement is being simplified in the perfect kind of way. Did you achieve deep and dancey? Yes. I like little bends on the melody. Melody's overplayed undermines the deepness. I mean, like bring it down an octave or something, or like reverb it up more, or maybe like give it a tack so it's not as transient, you know, so the kind of like high frequency ping like isn't ruining the deepness. And also, like, if the melody's a little more sparse, it's very like driving rhythmically, you know, versus you have ban out, ba da 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 da, ba da 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 da, ba da da da, you know, like a little more repetitive, a little more sparse. That can give you deeper type. That being said, though, I really love the melodies you are playing with. What other kind of timbre? So I mentioned like the flute. I would just dig through melody sounds. Like, if you're not sure, you know, look in songs, look in songs you reference, you know. Like, this is the first step to recovery, admitting you have a problem, admitting that the tutorial sine wave is no longer serving us. No. Just like, I hear it everywhere, and I definitely am guilty of the same thing a lot of the time, but like, we gotta challenge ourselves for timers, because it's so quick and it's so easy to just like open up sound design and do a sine wave, because you're guaranteed it's gonna sound good, right? But like, if you're trying to like carve something out with like some filters and like maybe more of a saw wave, you know, and like different envelopes, like that's a lot more work for usually a worse result. But dig through presets, look at references, find something you like. For this sound, I don't really know. Like, I'm almost imagining a more just like sampler instrument could be nice, you know, maybe like kind of like Middle Eastern string kind of pluck sound, the way you're getting funky with it. Right. And that's something I noticed for melodic stuff, or just like other types of sound design. Like in basses, like, okay, like make a cool ass bass. But I think when you're working melodically, in some sense, you almost want it to imitate certain types of instruments. So if we have a bell, like what more can we do for a bell? You know, like maybe you can FM the attack, so it's like a little more like ting, 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 you know? Maybe you can like make it like a brushed bell and like smooth the attack, you know? But then you might think, okay, what's a different instrument? Like, how about like a plucked string instrument, you know? Like a guitar, maybe it will like low pass pluck with like a saw wave, you know? Or if it's a flute, maybe we won't keep lifting the sound. Maybe we'll keep it more legato, more held between us, you know, like that, and just actual sampler instruments. So versus each sound wants to be played a different way. That's the thing. Like you have the kind of like sine pluck, and like that's the sound, but that directly informs the type of melodies you're gonna write. You know, so sometimes switching out the sound completely won't always do the job. You know, it's like you're composing a whole orchestra, and then you're like, you know, the string part, actually put it on the like hammer dulcimer. It's just not gonna work. Like there's literal limitations there. Like you can't sustain a hammer dulcimer, okay, but you can sustain a string for a while. You know what I mean? But even though we aren't always limited like that, I think musically we want those limits. I don't know. I'm just fucking saying a lot of whatever. But whatever is good. Or you can use an actual kalimba sample. Or a different one. I feel like I want some like kind of like breaks or calls like in this flow with how rolling the sub is. But yeah, not much else to say. It's clean. Maybe a little more like pattiness, you know. And sometimes like that can make it deeper. Well, just like pattiness, atmosphericness in general. But when you combine that with the more plucky element, then all of a sudden it's meshing a little more. It's not sounding as kind of pointy, more smooth. Lets it a bit deeper. Keys V2. Glock. Bless. cool track, sound design everywhere.
Now pay attention. Unrighteous folks find their ends to the beams while the elevated mind cuts right through the
So how to improve fill areas and transition points. So I guess transition points, I don't know, like when you have this kind of break, like I would take some measure to make the breaks a little less dry, since like these sections come across very dry. I think that's the kind of contrast we can get. So when the break comes in, maybe a little less drummy, a little more patty. You know what I mean? That's a pretty standard thing. But you have all this, then it comes to this, and it's different, but it's not feeling as different as it could. Bring that sub up as well. Kick needs help. I don't know. You're saying drums too swingy? Like, I think they should be more swingy. I think I want the hat kind of pattern, like the cat, the cat, the cat, the cat, you know, because it's in this in between point. The drums are going boo, cat, boo, which is either like super straight, like boo doo doo cat, boo doo doo cat, or like boo doo cat, boo doo doo cat, you know, like I don't know. And I think it's kind of leaning into like the tipperish sound down to the drums, but the drums are lacking that like swank, which makes the straight pattern work. Because if a straight pattern's just straight, then it's a straight pattern. You know, that's not a sound I like. But I think like the appeal of keeping it just like kind of boot cat, like all four, is that how much swing you can lay on top of it. You know, it's like a push and pull, like. And you probably wouldn't go so crazy like with the kicks and like fill stuff if it was swung. But for this, you can, it's a balance, you know. Drums are boring. And like in the phrase, it feels like it's waiting a beat. So it goes bam down down, bam down down down. It feels like the bam down down is waiting. Feel what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, and like get these kind of like boom, like real bright, real mono, real flat.
Now pay attention.
Feel tight with the sub. And for this type of thing, like I feel like some of these kind of like bam bam like sustainy guys, I want more like wubby or more plucky, you know, just more kind of dynamic. They don't quite have like the dunk 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 dunk, you know. Especially I think like you want that kind of tight sound for this. Just my thoughts. Sound design, bussin'. Goofy. crazy per usual. Like you're just like unhinged with it. So I pray for your mental health. Besides that, can I follow or is it too crazy? I feel like in places I want like some of the layers stripped back. So like I just really feel like that one crazy ass stretch sound just fucking shoot. You feel me? You feel what I mean? Like we have this like kind of crazy stretch bass phrase, but then it's like and that guy kind of like comes in and out, you know, like it just like the layers in places like break the continuity of the line, you know, even though we want layers. Like I don't know, it almost makes me think like what if we can like drag some of the layers over longer like independent phrases, or like that's something I've found to feel like I a lot of times I arrange stuff so call and responsey, and like I think very like texturally, or like I'm like adding like spicy things for the ears. But I think what pays off musically is when each individual thing coming in and out can stand at its own independent line, you know. And that's when I think it clicks in my head. Yeah. That's one way to put it, I think. No, because like if you stripped everything back and just gave it fucking fat, distorted root note, like people wouldn't know what to do. You know, and the fact that can even enter my mind shows what's going on. No, you're right though. Like kind of just filling and flowing. You know, like these kind of sections where it's teased, you know, going up and down, it goes bum 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 bum. But then that's the most resolve we get. While if we got, you know, bum bum da da boo da ga da boo, you know, like letting it ride, I guess, on the response a little further. Like it's like you call and response, but then like the response is a new call, and then like we already forgot what just happened, and it's like then you throw a new thing, you know, like just let it respond, let it relieve that tension, then come back. Like as much as I cannot stand a root note, I think it's what the soul needs. Because really all these phrases, they are very like call-y, they are very up in the air, they're very question, you know, give us that answer. And when in doubt, like even Tipper like uses big downbeat beats, boof bass, and every single bar, you know, and I think he does crazy shit. But he's still coming back to the staple because you can't fucking refuse it. So don't be afraid of the staple. But I guess that kind of addresses both points about what smacks and what isn't necessary. I don't know. Just strip it back. Strip it back. You know, that they say like you gotta like build it up. You gotta build it up, okay? But at a certain point, it's like we've built it out. Like we have the full block, right? And the only way to improve it at some point is to start chiseling away from it. You know, start taking away. You know, like it's nice to have like a rich meal, but like sometimes there's so many seasonings you can't even tell what's going on. Or it might taste bad, you know, when just like salt on potato plus oil might slap harder, you know what I mean? Like I think we can make delicacies, but you know, I don't know, that speaks to a lot of music because it's easy to get away with the formulaic stuff. And it's easy to go wrong when you really branch out. But I think if you really branch out and then strip it back to distill it to the essentials, the cream of the crop, something really special comes out. Like we got here. All right. Words. Vibey. Home.
Me and my niggas 4 deep in a white Toyota. A quarter tank of gas, 1 pistol went on. Janky stash box when the federal rallies a roll up. Basketball shorts with the Gonzalez Park holder. We on the mission for bad bitches in trouble. I hope the universe love you today. Cause the energy we bring is sure to carry away a flock of positive activists and fill their body with hate. If it's necessary, bump the cheesy first album looking distracted. Speaking language only we know, you think it's an accent. The windows roll down, all I see is a hand pass it. Hotboxing like George Foreman, grilling the masses of the working world. We pulled up on a bunch of working girls and asked them what they're working with. Look at me, I got the blunt in my mouth. It's 2:30 and the sun is beating. You just suck my dick, then I'll continue eating. Good niggas with bad intentions, the perfect combination. Before we sparked the conversation, we seen 3 niggas in colors we didn't like to start interrogating. I never was a gangbanger, I mean, never was stranger to the funk neither. I really doubt it. Rush a nigga quick and then we laugh about it. That's ironic, cause I never been violent until I'm with the homies. Just ride. Just ride. Just ride. Me and the homies full of shit.
Alright. I like this. You're asking for bass design tips. Does the bass need to change notes? LFO, do you think it's fine how it is? Mixing stereo field tips? Huh? No. Biggest thing that sticks out. The biggest thing that sticks out. Mixing. The vocal too loud. I'm not feeling the bass in my face.
We know you think it's an accent. The windows roll down, all I see is a hand.
It's a little cleaner here. You have like a weird kind of fill that gets
accent,
loud.
Which only we know you think it's an accent.
Like Kendrick Lamar is just rapping here, and then he just like gets really close to my ear for a minute, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. I say, Kendrick, can you respect my personal space? He says, Maxon. I said, okay, Kendrick.
Was a gangbanger, I mean, never was stranger to.
Yeah. And it definitely gets too loud at this point. I think sounds turned up, and also there's like layers. Sounds like you layered the squeak vocal with the main vocal, which is going to be twice as loud unless you're like mixing them 50-50 volume wise.
We put on all I see is a hand pass it. Hotboxing like George Foreman, grilling the masses of the working.
Stereo field, I don't know, nothing comes to mind. Just bases wide. The comment here is funny. Bass design tips.
Language only we know you think it's an accent.
Bring the bass louder. Does bass need change notes? LFO, I think it's fine how it is.
Roll down, all I see is a hand pass it. Hotboxing like George Foreman, grilling the.
I think the bass notes are fine. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, do, 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 do. Maybe it could be more fun if it was boom, don't, 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 boom, don't, 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 don't. Adding an extra half step, so you have boom, don't, don't, and I'm suggesting boom, don't, don't, Do. Brow. I'm sure you can grow it yourself. Don't let your dreams be dreams. But LFO wise, like I think the LFO is interesting, but like in a heady way, okay? No, by heady it's like it's cool to listen to. It's like engaging as from a texture standpoint, but I think you want to make it flow really rhythmically. You know, like think like a rapper. Like let that bass spit. Okay.
Basketball shorts with the Gonzalez Park odor. We on the mission for bad bitches in trouble. I hope the universe love you today.
More just like basic shape, like flat out. It's a little high FME to like get that girth mid range out, I think. And structure big and beautifully. Don't rush structure. Make it a journey. Damn.
Avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. Untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger world. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinals, neither clash nor mesh. No one's invalidated, but no one is welcome.
Kind of popped up.
Society where human laws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humiliate the birth of a human.
rights of criminal human will respect them if they're enemies.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations made to protect endangered species. Everyone told the same thing.
Most other people
But be that competition outcome.
believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that you can succeed.
Damn. Little T-Spin coming up. I think this is a huge jump in quality. Like, it's mixed clean. Pretty clean. It's getting cleaner all the time. Bass is cool. There's nice melodic elements. It's structured. You know, different elements in the arrangement serving different purposes and all that. The mix how is so
Untested
Stay inside their
like this sound hurt me. That's the mix. Kick is chunky. Excellent. Bass kind of telephone effect, but that's kind of cool. Kick probably too chunky though, could bring up the bass. Then it's kind of like boof. I could like sidechain the kick in. This is supposed to be this Metal Gear Solid too.
And protect each other from
Yeah, and you can hear like the kind of pan sound getting clipped, like kind of pushing the group too hard, or the master too hard. So sidechain or just not pushing it as hard, playing with levels, EQs. So you see, bass loses too much when you try to EQ it to make space. Like, so when I have a pause this long, it makes it seem like what I'm about to say is interesting and thoughtful, but the opposite is true. No. Who knows? But when it comes to basses, I'm not always EQing them with the idea like to make room for the other things. If anything, I want the other things to make room for the bass. You know, like usually in dubstep, the bass is your priority. You don't want to compromise on it for other elements. It depends on the kind of arrangement. But when you're having heavily sound design bass, I think usually you want that up front. So yeah, like what you're finding is the EQ is kind of thinning it out, so don't EQ it. You know? And I feel like a lot of people have the mindset like, oh, you got to go crazy on the EQ. I don't go that crazy on the EQ. I don't. It's nice to do. When I do go crazy on the EQ, it's usually to make the bass sound better rather than have it fit in with everything. But a little bit better. Yeah. And these builds definitely dial back the kick. Like a little slam sounds fine in the drop. Sounds fine in the drop. But when you're hitting it already in the build up, it's a little tacky.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations made for the
I wouldn't mind hearing more of the sample.
endangered.
Yeah, but this is a huge jump in quality. The mix, super clean. The sound design is cool. The structure is nice. Tasteful use of layers. Good choice with the drums. Like, I don't know. Call me impressed. Oh, damn. This is clean. This gives me... it feels like I'm like about to check out on an e-commerce website. All right, I'm a hater. Let's just fucking listen. Damn. 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 The voice fire. Oh my god. Beautiful AF. The stars align for this collab. No, I'm impressed with the vocals. I mean, we just can't miss. No, like, I love this type of Reese. Like, it has this resonance. For some reason, I can't get that sound right. Maybe I get it, but I just don't. It's the Reese, but you hear it's got like the ooh, like the resonant valleyness. And the chops, jeez. I like, this is like, Yui, promote your music, bro. Yeah, I agree. I was thinking Shaker's too loud. Restart. Yeah, I think they're kind of like cutting above like the vocal as well. Like in the droppy section, they just feel like a little harsh, but in here it feels like they're kind of competing with the vocals, like breathiness. But I think you want to watch it, because I think like her vocal execution is playing off a lot of the breathiness. So I would almost say avoid breathy sounds elsewhere, you know? Like, I don't know. I almost think like a reference for this, you hear like the really like ethereal like R&B sounds, like electronic sounds, and they're real breathy singers, but the whole of the arrangement is all just like sine waves and like Reese sounds, you know, all stuff that's very MIDI, that's not brushing the high end, you know? I don't know. Like in a weird sense, like if the vocal execution was different and not as breathy, like maybe the more shakers would be fine. You see what I mean? Like that's just how I'm thinking. I'd watch a track breakdown of this. That's a fire compliment. I would too. Something I'm hearing, this lead is cool. For whatever reason, it just keeps ringing in my head like I want like slight delay on this. Wow. Well, what a track. Jumps beautiful. No, like you just make like professional level tracks and like above professional, because this is better than most tracks being released by, well, professionals. I think this could be huge, especially like the vocals, like, I think take it to that next level where it can reach a lot wider audience. Good night streaks and recents. Footwork. Damn. 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 We're being treated. Fire track. I don't know how much. I don't know the original, so I can't speak. But like that, like fluty melody. Come on. Frequency conflict in one specific section. Where is this frequency conflict? Is this frequency conflict in the room with us? Do you feel safe? I don't know. All I know is killer AF, in the words of Nova. You're cracked. Structure good, little melody's good, drums great, sub groove great. The fuck. Questionable arrangement decision. I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy in the feedback department, but I don't know if I would want to change a lot. Like arrangement wise, like it's not doing like full build to break stuff, but I think it plays it off well. Something I might worry about if it's like a little too hectic nonstop with the energy, you know, doesn't really give people a break. Like they're shuffling, but then you're like, shuffle more. All right, now shuffle like a little like more chill now. All right, now, you know, like let them have a breather. Doesn't have to be like standard break stuff, but make the energy levels dynamic, you know, and that's the key. Like, it's not always just switch the sound, you know, switch the energy. And by the energy, I'm talking about like the highs and lows. Just do it. If anything, I would think like you're talking about the frequency conflict, like here. I think you can get away with it. Like it just sounds kind of like full and like slightly hectic. Like the kind of like background buzzing feels like more like filling it out texturally than whatever, you know. So I'm not too pressed about how it feels. As a listener, I couldn't be more pleased. I'll give your track a like. Right. Committing. Especially talk about like here or whatever. Like energy level wise. Dreddy Bear. Dreddy Bear has been kind of popping off lately, so. Clean. Dreddy Bear is good at music. He knows music. Okay. No, like the melodies, the arrangement, like the harmonies you're choosing, they're different. Transition to the second drop too, bro. Off the top of my head, maybe you can kind of tease this new lead. Yeah, like you can definitely kind of tease that riff. I think that can smooth it over. Monster Cat. Now you're kind of right. I wasn't even thinking Monster Cat, but now that I'm hearing like the bleepies in this section. I don't know, the rest of it definitely too chunky, too filthy for the Monster Kitty. What is this? Like a guitar? Like something about it sounds like just so fucking crisp. Like it's like ASMR level of mix on that one sound. Mix down feedback. Maybe it is sticking out a little, but I think it's kind of serving to like pushing something forward. Tension. Like the way you played it and like had little bends in it. It's amazing. Sounds good as hell. Transitions keep it tense. I love the kind of like bridge progression. Now this definitely major Monster Cat vibes on this part. Now I can't stop thinking about that. Like, cause they love those kind of like spacey chords. I don't know, like something about them like spacey, like the modal mixture thing. And the melody bouncy with it as well. But the texture definitely spice it up. I don't know. If I'm picky, maybe a little dense, just a little dense on the layers, like in these kind of sections. A little loud on the effects, I don't know. I'm pleased. We got like a bunch of heavy hitters lined up in a row tonight. This sound, I don't really know. What the fuck? I don't want to hear myself, bro. I don't want to hear myself.
For this sound, I don't really know.
For this sound, I don't really know.
For this sound, I don't really know.
Gotta count myself. Because it's so quick and so easy to just like open up sound as I am. But like if you're trying to like carve something out with like some filters and like slowly give it on Lovely. Super lovely. The chord. No, that was great. I'll look past my own voice in the intro, but that was great. Really, and I just love you did the thing. You arranged it. You arranged it with, you know, the crescendo, the climax. You know, the intro, the drop, the outro. And I think it creates so much more of a strong effect on the listener, on me personally. Because like it lets you appreciate like the melodic, beautiful chaos more. The image is very fitting for this aesthetic, I would say. So bonus points for that. Extra credit. And I love that key sound in the outro. That's a great sound. Low-key, I want to know what that is. Can you tell me? Haha. Aha. I don't really know. Basic. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Complex is not a virtue. Good music is a virtue. Okay. But what can you do to make the intro meld better with the main part? Give it more of a like build up. I don't think there's a lot of indication that we're building, so I'll maybe keep it low passed for here and then like open it up. Another thing, you're like hitting this tense chord. Dun, dun. I think, you should sit on this chord. Like that's the tension chord, and then you go do boo boom. You know, like that's the chord that transitions into your drop. You kind of resolve it a beat before and then get into your drop when I think you want to hold the tension off, you know? For this sound, I don't really know, but I'm almost imagining a more just like sampler. Anything else? No, I just like it. I think the bit of arrangement sauce here goes a super long way for how it's hitting. Fractal sound, where are your questions? Ask a question for me to give specific feedback on. No, you can use my voice as much as you please. I just feel weird about it.
Catch him, I'm landing mixed up with UGK. Maybe try to perpetrate what I'm on is strong. Yours weaker than 7 days. Sweeter than creme brulee. Presidential head of state. Dopest motherfuckers since before I hit the 7th grade. Elevate, cool as shit. Cooler than what coolest is. Flick without no lubricant. Bullshit, you just full of it. Stupid bitch. Keep on hating, I'ma keep on doing it. Spending days with me, boy, you couldn't get the shoes to fit. Fuck you, what you need, you can't get nothing from me. You was talking shit, I want somebody you would love to be. I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on feeling, I'ma smile back, smile back. Fuck you, what you need, you can't get nothing from me. You was talking shit, I want somebody you would love to be. I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on feeling, I'ma smile back, smile back. Tell me I was fake, they would hate, now they on my dick. Most of it's my family, have respect for my conglomerate. Rollie on my wrist, I ain't rich, but I'm still popping shit. Germans on the beat, he got that heat. Hold up, drop it quick and bring it back. I could change the world with just a single track. Underage table in the back, smoking, drinking yet. Pittsburgh, let me show the world just where my city at. On the map, illest city out, I guess that's just a fact. I'ma live in Rome, drink with soda, have a ball. After all, only get one life, so there's no time to stall. I'ma do it, stupid dudes with all exclusive shit to move it. Just a few kids trying to bullshit, still my boys, I straight up roll with like, fuck you, what you need, you can't get nothing from me. You was talking shit, I want somebody you would love to be. I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on feeling, I'ma smile back, smile back. Fuck you, what you need, you can't get nothing from me. You was talking shit, I want somebody you would love to be. I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on feeling, I'ma smile back, smile back, smile back, smile back. Alright, alright, alright.
Cool track. You're asking, what can you do to make it better? Where are the extra layers? Think of the sound design, anywhere to improve it. First, my things. Okay, I'll get to your thing. No, but off the top of my head, this is a weird thing, but I want the vocal repitched, and you wouldn't think that right away because it's like a rap vocal. It's fitting pretty well, but he's really gravitating around this. So it's fitting there, right? But I want it. You see what I mean? Like the root note matched to the vocal root note. Right, it's closer here. Literally watching this at a rave right now. Bro. What do you do? No, you're real for that. Yeah, another thing Theme suggested, add hi-hats, definitely. Like, needs hi-hats, need top percussion to drive the groove forward. This transition is a little quick. I would select a kick with a little more low end. Maybe a little different snare, or at least shape the envelope so it's a little boom. Self-employed, independent, once you start, don't take no breaks. Work until I get it, I bet it's So sound design, I would OTT it more. It sounds subdued. Add phaser, add OTT. Never fails. It's kind of lacking like the harmonic sauce that comes from harmonic layers or kind of phasers and like EQing, carving. Yeah. Like static, kind of like mid-rangey phaser. Not moving, not rubber. Just carving out some harmonic sauce. Yeah. And what's the key? The key sounds like you're kind of switching root notes, even though it might be in the same key. Like in bass stuff, you always want to come to the minor one, you know, and that's where everything wants to come back to. So keep coming back to it, keep going away and keep coming back. Don't ride off of it for too long, because then it sounds off. Yeah. Where can you use extra layers? I feel like just little delayed effect hits could be good. And another thing, the variations feel like different vibes. So you have I'll maybe I don't know. It's a little like riffy, like on the latter half, but you're having that, which is like very fun, upbeat type of vibe. But then when you get to the kind of second half variations, it sounds a lot darker, you know, because it's not playful switching notes in that same kind of way. And there's the added dissonance of you playing with the off notes or whatever. Connected. If you're here, ask a question. If you will not ask a question, I will abandon you to the waste. Another weird one, kind of a Death Grips vibe. This could be massive. I can already hear you telling me to add more space between the chaos. I decay why I'm so bad at that part. No, I'm glad. I'm glad I've been that persistent in my values that I'm now an autonomous entity within your mind, compelling you to reduce. Oh. Ask a specific question. Connected, bro. And I will happily listen. But I don't know. Like, I think like simplifying things isn't something that comes easy or automatic. In fact, it might be the hardest thing. Because it takes so much trial and error of realizing what you really don't like. It takes a lot of being picky to realize, like, to get over the novelty of adding more and more things and listen to the whole, you know? It took me a long time to even think like that, and I'm still not the best at it. Give me a specific, cultivated question. General feedback is not a specific question. What are you trying to improve on it? Connect. Always improving. Okay. This gives me like Flash sci-fi game. I don't know. Run to type beat. All right. So thing here, it's giving me the Flash game vibes, which I kind of am enriched by. Maybe this will be an intentional aesthetic people pursue. Maybe not. But it's repetitive. It loops the same thing over and over. Give us the main idea. Give us an idea, easing us into the main idea. Give us an idea, fading out of it, you know? I think we can structure more on that. Or if you want to kind of keep like the trancey like progression, I would continuously enhance the layers on it. As a bit of that, but it could get a little more dense, have a bit more clearer of a rising. And there's just this thinness. Could just have one or two extra layers in places. Like a pad in these parts. Ooh. You know. And this bouncy bass line, it's pretty fun. I'd bring up the volume and maybe drop it an octave or have some type of sub layer so it fills things out more. Nova is spitting. I think the whole track is on the quiet side. Yeah. So arrangement, that stuff, reference the structure of the track. And that's all I got. I like this though. It's sparse, but it is thoughtful in what it does. Peace out. I appreciate it. Oh, this shit hit. Here, major chord half step. I awaken. It's kind of bass outlet. pick up some Death Grip vibes. Goddamn. No, I like it. It's okay because I kind of liked it. I'll look past the fact you didn't really ask a question because I already fucking listened to it, so it's too damn late, isn't it? You're saying like I would tell you to add more space? Maybe I would, but I think being crowded can be a part of the like aesthetic at some point, especially when the energy is like angy, you know, or whatever. Because if we're trying to be mad graceful and elegant and or clean or even deep or even vibey, like I don't know, just having everything going on at once is not resonant with that energy. But when we build it like this, maybe it can be a little messy. Yeah. Noise vibe. So I'll let it slide. I will. If anything, I wasn't a fan of this part. Like, it just wasn't as dynamic with the chaos. Like, you gotta show me where up and down is, even if you're going crazy. That's the interesting thing. Like, we can build music relatively. It can be completely different. It can be completely noise, but I still think within the noise, you can be musical. You know, like, the hipster ass thing to say, like, not all noise music is created equal. You know, and that speaks. Even with the fuck shit, I think there's aesthetic choices to make. And that's where I point. Kind of this section wasn't slapping as hard as the initial section in all its noisy chaos. That and also just the energy level, like it's pretty high on. This doesn't necessarily feel confident and like higher and grittier, but at the same time it's not a lower thing. It's just kind of not doing it, you know, like, so bring it up, bring it down, but when you bring it up, fucking slam it. Okay, last track of the evening. He's risen them up. Sounds good. Damn, that drum pattern.
done before. You take me to a fourth dimension. Left me wanting more. I don't want this to end yet. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, baby, you don't know the truth. I know. I'll ever be. You'll set me free. You'll never leave. Oh, baby, you don't know the truth. I know. Oh, baby, you don't know the truth. I know. Oh, baby, you don't know the truth.
Clean track. No, I thought about it, and low key, the drum sub pattern is Ratata by Skrillex. I can't unsee it now, and your track has been ruined. No, I don't give a fuck. And if it slaps, we're slapping. But you're asking, what does it need to be label ready? So add a vocal that said this kind of beat to go Ratat. No, actually. No. Just something that comes to my mind is when you're dealing with all these saws, I'm like, you made it before that. You were like, you're prophetic in nature. Skrillex kind of stole your sauce for this. He heard your track. No, it is such a fucking fire pattern though, really. But when I hear these kind of saw waves, I want to hear big low pass build effects. You know, just get that epicness, get that huge tension, because that's the place to do it. It's the opportunity. As much as I like the drum pattern, I think it's almost cutting in, or it's like clashing a little with the... auto filter, but also plucking the filter and automating that can be even more of a noticeable and musical dynamic effect. And low key, I feel like this can slap a little harder if we transpose the sub bass around to play off the chords of the rest of the thing, or play more chord like in general. See, when you have this kind of art building up, like that's perfect low pass opportunity. Especially when you've already given us the full girth of the riff, so when you come in with the drop, it's like, okay, I get it by now. There's not much surprise. And or you can also like bump it up an octave when the drop is. wanna go? Boom, 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 bum, 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 bum. You know, like talking about the bass line. Boom, boom, boom. So like D, B flat, C, or you can do D, B flat, C, A, or I don't know. Something like that I think would give so much sauce to it. I'm not talking about the melody, I'm talking about the bass. Or maybe I was talking about it for terms of the drop, but adding the harmony to the bass can bring it up. I think that'd do a lot for it since it's such a central element. It's so throughout. That tension, that relief during the drop. And watch how much sidechain there is. If anything, I don't know if I love it. Love that amount of sidechain with this kind of pattern. Especially because maybe if the arrangement was a little straighter on it, the sidechain would provide that kind of rhythmic interest to it. But I think it's already kind of complex, so you don't want it just kind of being cut into. You feel me? Sidechain as that kind of tool. But that's all the tracks for tonight. I appreciate y'all showing up. Flock Flip tomorrow, unless I state otherwise. I'll tell you in the Discord, but I think I'm actually going to fucking do it this week. Appreciate your patience and sauce. It's all in the works. Hope you liked your feedback. Hope you liked hearing people's tunes. Hope you like making music and do it a lot because it's a great thing. That's fair enough to say. Lots of fire, lots of heavy hitters. The Mui track is transcendent. He has ascended to a new level. Y'all gotta make like more collabs like that. Huge sauce, huge potential. My opinion. Hi Cheddar. Bye Cheddar. All the links you need are in the description. Visit buntingmusic.com if you really love bunting and bass music. It'll be such a great treat. That's it. Self-plug done. Stream finish. I'll see y'all tomorrow.